This bow tip's brought to you by Hide & Hook's latest DVD release, Shoot Something, with over 20 exciting hunts filmed in Kentucky. Available at hideandhook.com. Hey everybody, today I'm going to be putting on a Ripcord arrow rest. They are a drop-away rest. A lot of problems people have putting on drop-away rest. They make it a little more difficult than it really is. So we're going to start out by using this rest. Some people think it's my favorite and stuff, but I don't know why that they would think that they was my favorite rest. You know, I'm not a partial kind of guy, but you know, I do like the Ripcord a little bit. So I'm going to break it out of the package straight up. We're going to put it on a raw bow, and we're going to get this thing, and I'm going to show you how to hook it up so that it's going to work good for you. All right, first you start out by opening the package. I'm just joking. Hopefully you can figure that out. If you can't, you don't need to be messing with bows. The package, you're going to find your rest. You're going to find the football, which is the clamp that goes on the bus cable, the containment arm, a set screw for keeping the rest steady, the rest bolt, some various bolts, and an arrow holder. The first thing that I like to put on is the containment arm. This goes right on top of the rest, and I like to use the long spacer with a long screw. Put the screw in, the spacer in, and then this is going to attach directly to the hole on top of the bow, or the rest. Put it in there, and you tighten it down using your Allens. Get that nice and snug, but don't break it. Now that you got your containment arm on the bow, and you went ahead and put your moleskin on there, you have to take the little small set screw that comes in here, and it goes in this hole that's threaded on the front. And you want to screw that in. You don't have to tighten it all the way down right now. That's just there to keep your rest from pivoting once you get it on the bow, so that it doesn't move around due to the vibration and stuff that's through these bows. Then you put your washer on your bolt, and you bolt that bad boy on there. And when you bolt it on, and before you tighten it down, I like to go ahead and set the rest, is to go ahead and load it. And you can use a level if you want to. I always just use my eye, but I go ahead and I tighten this down. Now see, it's on an angle. That's not good. You don't want it like that. You want to bring it up to where it's straight. You want it to be running parallel with the riser shelf itself. Okay, and that's straight right there. Now what I do is, before I tighten down that screw there, the main bolt, as I go ahead now, I'm going to snug my set screw down, because if I don't, you may end up turning it and moving the rest. Go ahead and snug that down good. Don't over tighten these things, because it's just aluminum you're tightening it into, and you could strip the threads. Okay, we got that good and tight. All right, now we want to check and see if this rest is going to drop. Well, you can't flip this, because the Ripcord, you have to pull the cord. Well, now we got a problem with that. It's hitting against the shelf. Real simple. What we call the horizontal adjustment screw, which moves the rest left to right, which is for your windage. Then you've got your vertical adjustment screw, which is right here on the top, or on the side of the rest. All you have to do there is pull out your Allen wrench. Go ahead and loosen that. And I want to bring that up until my rest is level and just is touching the top of the riser. Okay, once you got that level, go ahead and snug down the vertical adjustment screw again. Get it snugged down again. There you go. Remember, don't over tighten, it's just aluminum. Okay, so now our rest is falling flat against the riser. It's gonna make a click, you can hear it. Well, that's fine. We'll put it, that's what your little bow holder's for, is to give you a little bit of that padding, so when it comes down, that it just bumps that padding and is not as loud, especially for your deer hunters. All right. Okay, what we got now is we got the football. I put the football together. That's the plastic piece. It's two pieces, flat on the middle, with the little grooves cut in them. They're the parts that hooks to the cord and attaches the cord to the cable. And you want to pick the cable that is hooked to the axle at the top, or is the split. Okay, that one there is the one that moves downward. And this one, it happens to be this one on this bow. So what I'm going to do is get this on there. You want to put both the cord and the cable in the football at the same time, just like that. And then snug them up just a little so that they'll hold. It's a lot of little parts for big fingers, I understand that. Alright, well now they're on there. Now what you need to do is slide that down the cable till you have the string at a 45-degree angle from the rest. Can you see that right there? We've got the football right here. The string, I got a little bit of slack on the string, which you can take that out real easy just by pulling it down. There you go, the string. And I got a 45-degree angle to the ripcord. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it back. I've got the rest up in the up position, like you see. I got the cable tight, the cord tight to the cable. I'm going to draw the bow, and I'm going to see when it drops, okay? Okay, did you see how the cord slid through the football? That's exactly what you want it to do. It didn't move on the cable, but it slid through the football. Alright, go ahead and tighten down that Allen that's on that football and get that thing snug so your cord doesn't move anymore. Now, yeah, that booger ain't moving. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, that's all secured. What I like to do is I like to put my raw shaft on there. I put a new rest on this boat. It doesn't have a knock on it yet. You can already tell that. I'll go ahead and I cock it. Snap your arrow shaft on. You get it level. And I like to do it by eye because I'm old school. But you get that thing level just about like that. I'll go ahead and I'm going to install a temporary knocking point just for our setup demonstration here. Some people will probably be using loops and that such a thing, but I'm going to go ahead and just snap on a temporary knock point so that way we're not moving around. Then the cool thing about it is if you guys use fobs that come with this little clear tester, you just put that on the shaft. It's really awesome. Then I got the rest level. I can check for clearance problems. Before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this rest up and get it square with the bow. What you do is you put it on a flat spot of your riser, which in this case is going to be right here where the quiver mounts and the sight mounts. If you hold it up against that riser like this with your thumb, you can use a laser square, it doesn't make a difference. Then you move the back of it to where it hits the string right where the knock's at. And then you want to move your little marker that's back there over to the center to where your knock's at. Okay, once you get that aligned in the back, all you do with this gauge is you spin it around, you put it on the front, and it should hit dead center of the arrow shaft on the very front. This one doesn't, no big deal. Grab hold of your horizontal adjustment screw, crank it over. What I do is I'll always hold this up there while this screw's loose. Go ahead and make my horizontal adjustment. It doesn't take but a split second to get this booger in there. Alrighty, and absolutely perfect. We got that thing tightened down, no problems there. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to check for clearances. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thumb underneath of this arrow in the front, and I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this cord and drop the rest, just like so. Then you slide this little clearance thing, it's a little clearance gauge, right across. Look at there. I have no contact with the riser, with the shelf, with the arrow containment bar across the top, or with the rest screws or anything, because the rest is perfectly flat against the riser, as you can see. Alright, you know, this is probably one of the coolest rests I've ever used, and it's not like they're my favorite or anything like that, you know, or I want to promote their products or nothing like that. But anyway, I hope this helps some of you guys out there that have questions about how to get the ripcord set up. I know I like it. Check out this real cool slow motion footage. Thanks, and see you on the next tip.